So remember Blue Exorcist? Well, I just finished catching up with its manga. And yes, Blue Exorcist's manga is still ongoing. So if you were one of the people that watched the first season and did not like the finale and just dived off the Blue Exorcist train, then you're kind of missing out. Now, three and a half years ago, I believe, Blue Exorcist got its official second season that continued the original story onto the arc right after episode 16 of the anime, where they ended up following the manga's Kyoto Impure King storyline, which lasts about 12 episodes. After that, I honestly waited until there was another season of Blue Exorcist, but it has been 3 years and there has not been a new season of Blue Exorcist. So over this past, events in this world, I decided to look up Blue Exorcist's manga on the Shonen Jump app and visit his website, and I decided to read the whole thing. And over the past 2 weeks, I binge read it and I caught up to date. And in all honesty, it's really damn good. In all honesty, I can see why people kind of have not paid attention to Blue Exorcist at all, primarily because of how its anime was handled. Now, Season 2 was honestly pretty good. Animation was pretty tight. Its pacing was good. The problem was that it had such a long time frame between Seasons 1 and Season 2's start, in which case I see why people kind of dropped Blue Exorcist. They weren't super impressed with Season 2, or maybe they just dropped Blue Exorcist after the subpar anime original finale that it got back in its first season. Then I could see why people didn't feel like picking up the manga. Which is actually something interesting. Blue Exorcist manga, while technically a part of Weekly Shonen Jump, is actually a monthly manga. So there's 126 chapters of this manga. Everything through the Impure King, talking about maybe like 20 to 30 chapters worth of the anime. But compared to everything going on in the manga right now, especially stuff that happens after the Impure King arc, Seasons 1 and 2 are honestly pale in comparison to what the story has initially become. You may not have been able to tell from those two seasons, but the story of Blue Exorcist is honestly pretty well written. The characters of Blue Exorcist have grown to be more complex, and their motivations have been explored and become way more likable and more realistic in the terms of the story. Hell, like, one of my least favorite characters was kind of Shima, who was kind of like the cowardly, lazy, pervy guy. But as the story progresses, he's actually shown to be honestly a good character. He still maintains some of his core personality traits, but he develops into a very well-liked character. Shura gets her own arc with the Okumuras, where we see her backstory and stuff like that, and she herself develops along with the Okumuras. Which, let me just be specific, the Okumura brothers go through a hell of a lot of development within the manga arcs. And excluding one 3-chapter mini-arc right after the Impure King, there was literally like 6 chapters that honestly explore the relationships between the Okumura brothers, their pasts, their relationships with each other and their friends, and how they deal with all these different situations. Yukio especially develops in a very interesting way that leads into a conflict with Rin, which, as it continues to develop up to the point where we're at in the story right now, it's very believable, but also kind of hard to watch, because you know these two are brothers and they really do care about each other, but due to these specific events that are going on in their lives and these external forces, you can see how much pressure this is putting on these characters. Not to mention, we actually get revealed of an overarching villain organization. We all know the end goal is for Ren to fight and defeat Satan. That has been the end goal since the first chapter. But in the arc right after the Impure King, at the very end of it, we get the reveal of this evil organization that's existed for years. And you know how in almost every anime or manga, there's always some sort of evil organization with some sort of ideological or cynical point of view or goal in mind that can lead to the end of the world as we know it, and basically like the anime Illuminati. Well, for Blue Exorcist, it's the literal Illuminati that they're fighting. The Illuminati is literally the main overarching organization that Rin and Knights True Cross have to end up fighting. and have been responsible for a lot of things that have happened in the story behind the scenes. And it's led by Lucifer, arguably the strongest and oldest of the demon kings, the sons of Satan. You know, like Mephisto, or a Maimon, or the King of Rot that would essentially create the Impure King. And in the recent arcs, we get nice backstory to Shiro Fujimoto, the man who is basically the father of Ren and Yukio, who raised them, their mother, Satan, the origins of the Knights of the True Cross, the Illuminati. There's so much stuff that happens in the Blue Exorcist manga that just blows my mind. I know when you're reading a shonen manga, you expect there to be a bunch of big flashy fights, and there are good fights, but the fights aren't always the main focus of the story. For Blue Exorcist, it's Rin and Yukio's relationship, their origins, how it ties into the greater conflicts of the story, and how these two brothers have to end up dealing with it, how it comes to conflict with their own goals and ideals, how it affects their friends and teammates, how it affects the people that they've known their whole lives. It's a very intricate story that has continuously evolved through the years, and each arc gets more intense than the last, and everything is interconnected, which is something that I really do like. It shows that the writer, the mangaka, has planned out a lot of this in advance and knows where they want to take the story. Now look, I'm not saying this is something like One Piece level foreshadowings and stuff like that, but the creator of Blue Exorcist has honestly done an amazing job with not only elaborating on the rules of the world, the origins of the demons, the exorcists, and these organizations, the origins of Rin and Yukio, how everything that occurs in the past essentially comes back to bite you. It has a lot of different themes and motivations for each of the different characters, and it is honestly something that I have come to really enjoy. Now look, if you enjoyed at least the first half of Season 1 of Blue Exorcist, watch the second season and then jump onto the manga, or just read the manga all the way through. You will literally enjoy it. The artwork is great, the character growth is very satisfying and enjoyable. The story, like I said, has grown to be more intricate and complex than we were originally led to believe. It shows how much care and effort has been put into it. And yes, the fights that we see are honestly really good, especially right after the Impure King arc, because there aren't too many fights in the Impure King arc. The only notable one is essentially Ren taking down the Impure King, and then Yukio fighting Toto, and something happens with his left eye, which honestly also becomes a major plot point. A lot of things in Blue Exorcist have been alluded to from the start, but only really grasp you and get expanded upon later down the road, especially right after the Impure King arc, because once you get into the introduction of the Illuminati, we get more insight into other characters that we've known for a while. We get questions that are answered, we get even more questions, and we see how Rin develops as a protagonist and how Yukio also develops as not only Rin's brother or exorcist, but also as a human being and how he's dealing with everything that is going on in the world. So yeah, Blue Exorcist, a really great manga. I am honestly going to continue reading this series monthly. Maybe I'll start reviewing it, since not many people I've seen on YouTube have been reviewing the manga from what I can see. But if that's something you'd like to see from me doing monthly, then let me know in the comments down below. Blue Exorcist is a very underrated series, and I really do believe that it deserves a lot more praise than it gets right now. There are still a lot of devoted fans to the series, but I do feel like it has kind of been lost in the shuffle over the years, especially due to people not watching the second season or knowing about the second season, or again, like I said, just dropping the series after the questionable ending of Season 1. So if you even remotely enjoyed Blue Exorcist when you saw the anime at first, then I highly recommend you pick up the manga and read all the way through. It is really nice to read in a binge, and you will honestly really enjoy it. But with all that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to do more videos on manga like Blue Exorcist that deserve more praise or more attention from other manga readers, then let me know. I could actually start doing that. That could be a thing I could do from now on. Just let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. And don't worry, I will eventually get back to doing my weekly manga reviews for One Piece, My Hero, and Black Clover and Jujutsu Kaisen. I just wanted that copyright strike to die down a bit before I accidentally somehow give myself another one. But yes, I will try my best to get back into doing the weekly manga reviews for those series, and I'll most likely get to doing these monthly videos for these monthly titles, if I get the chance. But yeah, with all that said and done, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.